Okay, I think I can officially start. Greetings to all of you around the world who sign up from different parts of the world, can be from India, Philippines, and even all the way from Japan. Thank you for your support. Happy blessed Lunar New Year to all of you. I believe during this festive season from Christmas all the way to New Year, we have been all feasting a lot of food. Now, whether you are eating too much, getting overweight, or not eating, or just been eating normally and putting on weight every year, I guess you are here to find out any tips or secret to help to reduce the weight or cut down the excess fat. So hopefully in today's short webinar, I'll be able to share with you some easy solution that can take away, that can be applied immediately to help you to improve your health and also to lose the weight that you've been looking for. So allow me to introduce myself by playing a short 90 minutes video. Then we'll go to the topics of 6 steps to successful weight and fat loss. Pain is a part of life. Suffering is an option. What if I told you there is this wondrous solution that not only fixes your pain, but empowers you to live a pain-free, active life? Hi, my name is Nelson, founder of Functional Training Institute. My passion for rehabilitation and functional training using the unique R4 methodology recently won the Fitness Base Asia Regional Personal Trainer of the Year 2021. For more than 20 years, I enjoy helping clients with all kinds of musculoskeletal pain, such as heel pain, knee pain, back pain, elbow pain, shoulder pain, and neck pain. At Functional Training Institute, we believe that everyone can be empowered to live pain-free actively. Our proven R4 methodology first carefully identifies the source of your pain, second restores your tissue elasticity for better joint mobility, third it retrains your entire body back into neutral alignment for optimum loading from the feet to the neck. Lastly, we integrate your body with functional strength and conditioning, giving you the long-lasting result of a robust and pain-free active life. Hence, achieving your secondary health and fitness goals, such as reducing blood pressure, increasing your metabolism, bone mass, muscle mass, fat loss, and better sleep quality, will become a walk in the park together with us. Witnessing each client feeling better and getting stronger each session is what truly matters at Functional Training Institute. Click on the link to empower yourself and loved ones to live a pain-free active life at Functional Training Institute today. Okay, thank you for watching this short video. As you can see from the video that I'm passionate about helping people to live pain-free actively. So I'm a bespoke peak performance coach. I enjoy helping people to fix their pain, getting them back to active life. Now, I want to say first thing first, I'm definitely not a nutritionist and I'm also not a dietitian. Why am I today here sharing about helping people to lose weight and lose a body fat? Now, let me explain. Now, I have clients who come and see me with all kinds of musculoskeletal pain. And after I fix all kinds of musculoskeletal pain, their next fitness goal is to be fit and also to lose the extra weight that they want to lose that have been bothering them. So like everybody else, I've been searching answers and trying different diet to help them to lose the stubborn fat and the weight that they want to lose. So I also struggle like anybody else at the client, figuring out what works and what don't works. So 4 years ago, I chanced upon a good program that is very easy to apply, that is sustainable long-term, that I help myself, impacted my life, and also help my clients. Hence today, I'm here to share with you what works for me, and hopefully it also works for you. Now, I also want to say that whatever diet program or lifestyle that you're currently applying that is working for you, please go ahead and do it. It can be your Atkins diet, it can be your paleo diet, it can be your blood type diet, or intermittent fasting. As long as the particular lifestyle or eating habits is not affecting your health and you're seeing sustainable long-term result, please go ahead and continue to do it. Now, what I'm going to share today, hopefully you'll be surprised that adding on what I say today to your current lifestyle or eating habit, you will see and other changes in your body transformation and even in your health as well. So stay tuned and we'll see what happens next. Okay. Now, this is a picture that I want to share before I jump to the topic of 6 steps of successful weight and fat loss. This picture was taken on Chinese New Year Eve this year. And these are my parents. My dad is 90 years old. My mom is 84 years old. And my mom is a breast cancer patient, which is stage 4, very serious breast cancer patient at 4 years into cancer, not taking any treatment because she don't want to take any treatment. She also is a diabetic and has severe rheumatoid arthritis at 84 years old. Now, in this picture, you can see on Chinese New Year Eve, I brought her to Garden by the Bay at Singapore. You can see she's making a peace sign with her finger. Her fingers are all closed with the 2 fingers, 3 fingers closed and 2 fingers sticking out, giving a smiley face. Now, why do I show this picture? Because I believe all of us here has parents, and some of our parents or loved one or relative has similar problem like my mom suffer rheumatoid arthritis. Later on, I will share in more detail at the end of this webinar that just 1 month ago, last year, December, my mom has so bad rheumatoid arthritis that she cannot close or open her finger. All her joint was swollen and in pain. Her limbs, as in her hip, her knee, her ankle, her toes, her shoulder, were all in a lot of pain. She was on heavy morphine patches on her body plus syrup morphine. And on painkiller, she was still in pain. She just feel like dying. She just don't want to live her life. But I did something into her diet, which is the food, that changes the effect that she was suffering. And within 3 days, she was back to normal again. So that's why I want to talk about this at the end, in case any one of you here has yourself or your parents or your loved ones suffering from rheumatoid arthritis. So stay tuned at the end. But I want to jump straight to the topic of today, how to lose weight and lose fat, which most of you are interested. Okay. Now, so what are the 6 steps to successful weight and fat loss? Let me run through it. Then I will highlight some key points, which is important for you to take away today that is very easy to apply and you will see the result. Now, let's talk about the first one. How many of you think that what to eat is important to help you to lose weight or lose fat? Like what to eat, meaning what kind of food to eat. Please type yes in the check box if you find what to eat is important to determine weight loss or fat loss. So I'd like to have some kind of response to understand that whether you are getting my message across. Can you help me to respond back by typing in the chat box whether you think this is important, what kind of food to eat is important. Thank you very much. Now, let's look at the second one. Hang on. Now, what about this second thing here? The second question. When to eat? If you think when to eat, as you know, is it better to eat in the morning, in the afternoon, or first thing in the morning, don't eat, or late night, is it good to eat or not? So if you think when to eat is important that determine weight loss or fat loss, please type yes in the chat group. So I can understand what are you actually looking for and what you have been trying and what is bothering you exactly. Okay, thank you for participating. Now, the third and the most important question for you to take away today is how to eat. Now, if any one of you here has ever heard of someone sharing with you, how to eat is very important to determine whether you can help you to lose weight or lose fat. Please type yes. If you have ever heard before, how to eat will help you to lose weight or lose fat, please type yes, which I think many of you haven't heard this before, how to eat. Okay, thank you very much. Now, so today's topic, I will talk about a lot of things, but the main thing I want you all to bring home today is how to eat, because this has helped me very, very much. And also my clients, which I invited a special guest today, will share her experience in a while. But first thing first, let's understand something very simple. and purposeful. Why do we eat in the first place? Okay, why do we eat? So let's have some question and answer so that we can learn from each other. So why do we eat? Maybe in the chat box, can some of you share, give me one reason why do we eat? Anyone, just type anything in the chat box. Give me one reason why do we eat? Someone try. There's no right or correct answer. Can someone type anything? Or enjoy food, good, nutrition, or energy? Thank you. Hungry, yes, good. Anything else? Any more guess? Why do we eat? Okay. For enjoyment, yes, good. Now, I will show you the answer, the general answer that people eat. First thing first, is because we are hungry, we have to eat, okay? Now, second thing, a lot of time people eat when they are bored. They don't know what to do. They just want to eat to kill boredom, okay? Which happened to a lot of people, honestly. Now, third thing, they eat to stay awake. Like, let's say you are working on a project, you got late night calls, you are having Zoom with your overseas partner, you're trying to eat to stay awake, which many people do it as well. They are not hungry, they are not bored, they just eat to stay awake, which is a bad habit that we need to kick it. And there are people who also eat to social, especially during now, Chinese New Year, Christmas was over, then Valentine's Day coming up. So you eat to social, be it for birthday events, for special gathering, you eat to social, not because you want to eat, because you have no choice to social. And not only eat, you also drink. So that is something that, that one of the reasons. And we eat because we want to enjoy being human. We want to taste good food, good wine. That's why people eat to enjoy quality of life. That's one of the reasons as well. And number 6 is interesting. You eat for survival. What do we mean by that? Now, when I first saw this eat for survival, there are two categories of people that maybe pop into my mind. Not the people who in the 1,000 years ago caveman kind of survival. I'll talk about maybe people who are celebrity, they're actress, they're supermodel. They don't eat when they are hungry. They don't eat when they are bored or stay awake or whatever. They eat for survival, just to have some little bit of energy to maintain the weight that they want to maintain to look good on the camera. So they eat based for survival only. So which is a very tough life to maintain, a lifestyle to maintain. Now, so today our main topic is how we eat will change everything right from the start that we talk about, okay? How we eat will change everything. Okay, let me go into the 6 steps of successful weight and fat loss. So 4 years ago, as I was saying, I was very blessed to host Dr. Krista Dixon from US. She's the program director of Precision Nutrition. I hosted her in my gym and attended her workshop, of course. And I learned a lot of very good, simple, effective solutions that have helped me, that has impacted me, which I'm going to show you to you right now. Now, I'll go through the 6 points, then I'll highlight some of the key points for you to take away through some very compelling storytelling and testimonial that happened to myself and my client. So the first point that she shared was, eat only when you are hungry, okay? So be it 5 meals, or 1 meal or 5 meals daily. I asked the doctor, say, so even if the client or anyone who say, I only hungry once a day, she eat 1 meal? Say, yes. So the first rule is eat only when you're hungry. Not when you're bored, not when you are sleepy, or not when you eat only when you're hungry, okay? Be it 1 meal or 5 meals. If you really have the appetite of 5 meals, you're hungry, go ahead and eat 5 meals. Now, the second point that she mentioned was eat slowly for at least 20 minutes each meal, okay? Eat slowly for at least 20 minutes each meal. I'll come back to point 2 in a while, which is the main topic of today. The third point she mentioned was eat only 80% full. Most of us eat very full until to the point that our stomach is so ballooned up that we realize that we have eaten too much. So you realize that point 2 and point 3, they are related, because when you eat slowly, you will realize that you will only eat 80% full or not 100% or more than 100% full. So they are correlated, but I'll come back to point 2 in a while. So point 3 is very easy to achieve once you follow point 2 closely. But there are more to point 2, which I show you the reason why behind it. Now, point 3, eat correctly with the right portion of food and non-processed food. Okay, non-processed food means anything that you see, it doesn't look like real food. Let's say a donut, you know it's not a real food. Or a sausage is not a real food. So you see a piece of chicken breast, it's real food, okay? Now, then they talk about the right portion of food, meaning for female is usually protein, which is all kinds of meat, and beans is like 1 palm size, veggie is 1 fist size, carbs is 1 handful, and fat is 1 palm. Males is usually twice the serving of female. I'll touch on that later on in the subsequent slide, but just know that minimize processed food and eat the right portion every single meal with the right proportion of carbohydrate, fat, and protein, which I'll touch on later in a while. Let me cover the 6 points first. So number 5 is very easy. Exercise regularly 2 to 3 times a week because you burn excess calorie, you have a deficit in the calorie intake minus of the burn calories. So you will definitely lose the weight and lose the fat eventually through exercise by burning the excess calorie. So that is easy. And the last thing is sleep 7 to 9 hours daily, which most of us will struggle because we tend to only sleep 6 hours or less. Okay, because sleep does affect your hormones, your metabolism, your body cells recovery. So I have clients who sleep very late and don't sleep enough. You will see that next day their blood pressure will go up, the body fat will go up, the heart rate also will go up. So sleep is actually very crucial. I've experimented on myself, on my clients to measure the body fat. When they sleep well, it go down. When they don't sleep well, they sleep too little for the whole week, the body fat will go up. But even the blood pressure will go up as well. Okay, now I want to come back to point number 2, which is the crucial one of today's takeaway. Eat slowly for at least 20 minutes each meal. So when I saw this eat slowly, I actually challenged the doctor. I said, Doc, can you please share with me and enlighten me? What do you mean exactly by eating slowly? And thank God, because I asked the question, he explained to me in this way. Now, eat slowly means put down your utensil after each bite. Take a breath after swallowing the food, meaning this is how you eat, which is very important among all the 6 other things. Now, here's something I want you to pay attention. Among all the 6 things that is all important, I can tell you something very interesting. Even you do all the number 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6 correctly, you don't do number 2 correctly. After a while, you realize that you still have some health issue, your weight can't go down, you're stagnant very soon because you don't take number 2 seriously enough. I'll share with you my personal experience in a while, then you'll know why. Okay, so point number 2 is eat slowly, putting down utensil after each bite, take a breath after swallowing the food. Now let me stop the share screen for a while so you can look at me, and I want to share something very interesting. Okay. Hang on, Okay, now here's my personal story to hopefully make some sense to you. Now, 4 years ago on December, with Dr. Crystal came down. Before she came down, every morning, I will have a very standard breakfast from Toast Box. Everybody knows Toast Box. In Singapore, Toast Box means they sell soft-boiled eggs and also toast bread. But I will eat the Malay rice called the nasi lemak. For those of you who are overseas, nasi lemak meaning Malay rice with a fish, with ikan bilis and some nuts. Now, here's the interesting thing. Every morning, I eat the same breakfast with 2 soft-boiled eggs and a packet of nasi lemak. This was how I used to consume my breakfast. The soft-boiled egg is almost like this cup here, but slightly smaller, slightly lesser content. So in 3 seconds, I will gobble down the soft-boiled egg with the black sauce and the pepper. In 3 seconds, I'll finish my 2 soft-boiled egg. Then I will use the spoon to scoop the Malay rice called nasi lemak. I will finish the whole packet of Malay rice in 5 minutes. Very fast. So what happened was many people didn't realize, which I didn't share previously until I attend this Dr. Crystal Precision Nutrition Workshop. Every time after my breakfast, I will have diarrhea. Immediately within half an hour, I have to go to the toilet, diarrhea. But I will only have diarrhea once. I do not have repeated diarrhea like food poisoning. So I will always have diarrhea once, and I really clear my system first thing in the morning before I start work. But after the breakfast, I always go to the toilet. For many, many years, that has been going on. But why do I still eat the same food? Because I love the eggs, I want to have the protein, and I love the Malay rice. Now, then again, I was condemning myself, telling myself, oh, maybe my stomach is weak, my digestion is weak. So when I take the soft-boiled egg, which is semi-raw, my body cannot process properly. So after taking it, I'll go diarrhea, which is fine. I can take it anyways one time, no big deal. I'll take it as it is. Now, I'm 51 this year. That was happening 4 years ago, which I'm maybe 47, something like that. Now, here is the interesting thing. When after I attended Dr. Crystal Precision Nutrition, and I asked her, what do you mean by eat slowly, which I shared with you earlier, you know what changes? I decided to apply on the breakfast that I took. So you imagine, this is how I consume the same 2 soft-boiled eggs. I take it as if I'm drinking red wine. So I take the sip, like what they say, I take a sip of the soft-boiled egg in the liquid form. I do this. I put down the soft-boiled egg in a cup, the paper cup, and I take a sip and I breathe this way. Then I pick up the same soft-boiled egg cup again. I take another sip. I take a breath again. Instead of 3 seconds, it took me 3 minutes to finish the same cup of soft-boiled egg, which is 2 soft-boiled egg. What about the nasi lemak? It's the same thing, the Malay rice. I took the spoon, I scoop whatever serving I can, I put it in my mouth, I put down the utensil, I chew how many times I prefer, does not matter because I asked the doctor, it doesn't matter how many times you chew. I finish chewing, I swallow the food, I take a breath. And guess what? The nasi lemak Malay rice normally took me 5 minutes to finish, took me 3 times the effort, 15 minutes to finish. Now, guess what happened? The day that I tried eating this way by taking a breath every time, be it liquid or solid food, I do not have diarrhea. I was very shocked. I was like, maybe today my stomach digestion is better. Or maybe it's my lucky day. No diarrhea today, must be very good, right? But I try tomorrow again. It's still the same, no diarrhea. And every day I try, I do not have diarrhea anymore. Then my colleague was joking with me. Now, sir, maybe they changed the eggs. The company of Toast Box, they changed the egg. So maybe now you're not sensitive to whatever egg they just changed. But I tell you something very interesting. 2 weeks later, after trying this continuously for 2 weeks and I do not have diarrhea, 2 weeks later on a Friday, I ordered the same food again and I only got half an hour break. During my half an hour break, one of my staff came and talked to me and interrupted my break. By the time my staff finished talking to me, I only left 10 minutes to finish my food. So I said, shit, my client is already here waiting for me. I only got 10 minutes, forget it. My stomach now is better, right? It should be okay. I gobbled down the soft-boiled again in 3 seconds, finished the Malay rice nasi lemak in 5 minutes. Boom, what happened? I go diarrhea again within half an hour. So what does that tell you? It tells you that our body actually has the ability to digest food properly if you pay attention to what you are doing. You need to let the brain, train the brain to know that you are actually consuming food. You need to digest the food. But if we are multitasking and gobbling down the food without putting the utensil down and take a breath, the brain doesn't register that you need to digest the food properly and just dump everything in and dump everything out. Hence, a lot of time when people consume food, they feel very bloated. They have indigestion. No matter what food they eat, they still feel very bloated. Even healthy food, they cannot understand why. Okay. Now, here's another interesting thing that I want to share with you. I was trying very hard to lose my love handle. You all know what is love handle. Love handle means your tires sticking out along your waist like a donut, like a swimming float. That's called a love handle. So I was trying to do different exercise to target my love handle and all those kind of stuff. But that week during New Year, for 2 weeks, I did not exercise because I was so busy. I was just using this technique. Eat slowly, consume my food and take a breath. I didn't even change my diet. I didn't change my diet at all. I just used the method to breathe in and out. I was very shocked in that 2 weeks when I went to do my body fat measurement. Not only my body fat went down by 1%, when I see myself in the mirror, my love handles start to disappear. I was like, wow, I was very impressed because normally even I train very hard using so-called spot reduction exercise we know doesn't work. It still doesn't go down. Even though I have 6 packs in front of my body, so what, you saw my picture, but the left hander refused to go down. So just by eating properly, my body changed. Okay, here I want to do a simple experiment with you before I invite a special guest of mine to share her experience. Now, all of you are sitting down now, hopefully. I want you all to do a simple experiment. You can sit or stand, up to you. Now, what is called mindful eating is very easy to prove to you. Now, if you are sitting down now, I want you to lift up your right knee up, then put it down again. Okay, do it with me because it's important. Now, try one more time. You lift your right knee up, then you put it down again. Okay, one last time. You lift your right knee up, you put it down. Now you feel that what are you trying to do? It's so easy. It's effortless, what? Correct? You don't even feel where's your muscles of your leg that's working or whatsoever. Now you try what I'm doing. What I want you to do next? Listen carefully. I want all of you to lift up your foot just 1 inch. 1 inch is about 2.5 cm off the floor. Try to concentrate and lift off just 2.5 cm away from the floor. Then you put it down. Try one more time. You try to lift off your right leg just 2.5 cm away from the floor, and then you put it down. Do you realize your mind now has to concentrate how to control the leg? So what am I trying to prove to you? This is something I learned from very good and smart people, that when your mind is intentionally controlling something and pay attention to something, you have more conscious awareness of what it is doing. The same thing goes to your digestion. We are all using handphone, watching TV or whatever, so we become very oblivious of what the body has to do. Hence, when we take a breath, when you breathe in, you smell the food better. Your brain processes there's something in your body you need to digest, but everything works better. It's very amazing. So without further ado, there are a lot more story I want to share that hopefully makes sense to you. I'm going to invite a special guest of mine, which is also my client with me for many years, who has struggled like every one of us here. Her name is Dr. Sham. She will share with you a personal story that hopefully inspire you as well. Sham, I will put you on unmute, so you can, or you can unmute yourself, please. Yeah.
Done. You can hear me, right?
Excellent. Please go ahead.
Thanks, Nelson, and Happy New Year, everyone. Well, I guess I have 5 minutes or so, I think, Nelson, to share my story. Long story short, I started 2019 at the heaviest I've ever been. I think even when I was pregnant with my kids, I wasn't that heavy. But if you backtrack a bit, I can pinpoint my weight gain to a medical issue, where I had a subdural hematoma, which is a bleed just outside the brain, and it happened out of the blue. No reason, no trauma, nothing. So it was probably, I think it was the scariest time of my life. And it was treated, operated, and so on. And post-op, I was told to take it easy with the exercise. I'd been exercising fairly regularly, about once or twice a week with Nelson and the other trainers at FTI. And rightly, I was told to take it easy with the exercise, which was not wrong, but my diet at that point was the problem. Because while I was not exercising so much, I was happily resting at home and relaxing and eating. You know, a snack here, a snack there, and meals while watching TV and so on. And all in the name of recovery, or so I thought. And so the weight just crept up, okay, and just kept going up. And came a point where, you know, my clothes were getting tighter. I was starting wearing looser clothes. And I don't know about all of you, but in the Indian community, when the aunties all start saying, "Oh, you look very healthy," that means you put on weight. Okay, so I got a lot of that. And Nelson knows I'm one of my hobbies is photography, and when I go on trips, it's you know, a lot of physical stuff, you know, lying flat on the ground, squatting here, squatting there, taking photos and so on, and all that became a lot more difficult. But more than that, I think what really was the wake-up call was that all my blood tests. My cholesterol levels started going up. All this was perfectly normal before. Cholesterol started going up, blood glucose, BP also, while still normal, was higher than my usual 110/70, right? So, and Nelson talked a bit about diets earlier. I didn't really try any of those, Atkins and all that, but I did try cutting down, eating more, salads at night, that kind of thing, but it wasn't sustainable. So then 2019 came, and I've heard Nelson told me this story about the eggs and his nasi lemak as well. So I decided to give it a shot. I mean, sounds easy, right? So that's what I did. I mean, especially the number 2, like Nelson said, taking 20 minutes to go through a meal and, putting your utensils down, chewing, breathing in between. And that's a surefire way of making sure you are only 70-80% full, in my experience, at least. So the first day after I did this, definitely felt less bloated. I mean, I didn't have the issue of diarrhea and all that, but definitely felt less bloated. The first day after I did this, the scale said that I lost 0.2 kilos. Okay, but yeah, first day, probably just water, lost some water and so on. But this 0.2 kept happening for 5 days in a row. Okay, then I thought something happening here, right? And it continued for close to 2 weeks, like clockwork. I was losing 0.2 kilos. And the funny thing is, I wasn't even eating healthier, as it were. I got so hooked on snacks and potato crisp, and I like chocolate. That's my weakness. And I was asking Nelson about this, and he said also use the same rules to eat all those things if you want to, if you must. Okay. And so I did. So instead of having a whole bag of chips, just take a few, eat slowly, eat, the 20 minutes and all that. And surprisingly, I was doing all that and still in the first 2 weeks or so lost 2 kilos at least, right? And the funny thing that happened after the 2 weeks was I really didn't feel like eating potato crisp and chocolates anymore. And that was like an added bonus to this. And so it continued. I mean, my exercise routine was about the same. I mean, not super heavy, especially post-op. I had a lot of balance issues and so on, which Nelson was helping me with and has helped me with. So it was just this change. And over the next 5 months or so, I was back to a healthy BMI. It was back down 5 kilos, another additional 4 kilos. So in total, about 6 kilos lost, in that time. And it has stayed off. And the advantage, I mean, obviously feel better, clothes fit better. In that year itself, I went on a hike in Slovenia, did 125 Ks in about 5-6 days and felt fine, but the other thing, of course, was all the blood results went back to normal. So that is huge for me. I mean, more than the looks and the vanity, as it were. I think that was probably the more important thing. So, of course, there comes a time when it will plateau, and then you do need to, do more in terms of probably physical activity and to build up the muscles and so on. And I at least naturally felt like eating more healthy. I didn't feel like all the processed foods anymore. It's just I think an added bonus to all that. And of course the sleep and all that is very, very important as well. So that's my 5-minute story on this. And yeah, Nelson, thanks for thinking it was worth sharing here.
Dr. Shan, thank you very much for your very inspiring story. Maybe you can finish off a little bit by telling them, before you try this simple, effective solution, your weight was actually creeping up every year to the point that you feel very,
Yep. Well, definitely. I mean, it was creeping up, and then with the surgery and post-op, it crept up even more, even faster. So like I said, I was at the heaviest at that 2019 start of the year. I was just looking at because I keep track of my weight, and it was 2nd January that was the 2019 that was at the heaviest. And I spoke to you then, and New Year resolution.
Yep.
Yeah, and so it's, I mean, I really appreciate what this simple thing has done for me, and Nelson and his team continue to come up with this new and keep improving, I think, themselves, and sharing all this very generously with me and all the rest of their clients, I think. And so yeah, I mean, I'm continuing to see Nelson, Kirtan, Isaac, and it's been a good journey, and I'm sure it'll continue.
Thank you very much for your precious time.
Yeah.
Okay, now so you have heard Sham's very interesting journey going through challenges in life as a busy career woman as well. Now, here's the other side of the story that I want to share that hopefully inspire you. Since Sham talked about eating snack, and during Chinese New Year, we all love to eat our favorite snack. Now, same thing, I have this habit which hopefully can give you the so-called the cheat day. We all call so-called the cheat day, eat what you love to eat, right? Now, every week I will go movie with my wife once a week, catch the latest movie in town. Now, here's the thing, because normally in the gym, whole day I will drink water, enough water. So when I go out to watch movie once a week, okay, I want to have a cheat day. So what do I order? I will order a bag of potato chips. Now this is Chinese New Year potato chip, but the cinema Calbee potato chips, and I will order a bottle of soft drink, which is a A&W root beer or Coca-Cola. So you imagine salt and carbonated drink mixed together is the worst of the worst combination, correct? And late night, 10 o'clock movie. By the time you finish, it's 12 midnight, you reach home about maybe 12 plus or whatsoever. So same thing, how we eat the potato chip. When you open the bag, you will eat non-stop. You keep eating non-stop the potato chip until the whole bag is over. Then same thing, I will open up the can of A&W root beer. I will drink glug, 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 glug. I'll keep drinking. So during the movie, it's fine. Now, after the movie, when I reach home, every time it happens, my stomach will balloon up like I'm pregnant 3 months old, first trimester. Then I will go to the toilet, diarrhea again. Same thing, but only one time diarrhea, not that I'm food poisoning. Even next morning, my stool is still not the normal stool, it's a indigestion kind of stool. Every time after the movie night, the same thing for many, many years. So after learning the 6 steps to successful fat loss, I decided to do an experiment. I said, hey, can you work on junk food or not? Which just now Dr. Sham shared, right? So I did what Dr. Sham said because I told her the thing, man. I take out really one piece, I put it inside, I chew slowly. Then I breathe, I literally in the cinema, I breathe. Then I take another piece, or I take a sip from the bottle of A&W. I take a sip. I put it down, I swallow. I breathe. And because I do that throughout the whole movie, which is about 1.5 to 2 hours, I go back. I was very surprised. My stomach no bloatedness. I didn't even have diarrhea. I was like, wow. Hey, no joke, like even junk food can work. Isn't that exciting? So I strongly encourage you to try it. Don't believe what I say. Don't believe exactly what me and Dr. Sham has shared passionately. Do it yourself and try it. Because why I'm so passionate, because I deal with so many clients with all kinds of health issues. They tell me, hey, don't know why I eat this food for 30 years already. Suddenly I eat this food, my stomach bloatedness. No, I don't know why. A lot of air, a lot of gas. Even I don't eat also bloated. They totally lost. I also lost. Until when I asked them to try this, for example, your irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, all the more you should try this. I tell you another story. Then you'll know why I'm so excited. There was one day at home, Sunday afternoon. I was hungry. What's rule number 1? Eat only when you're hungry, correct? So I was hungry, normal. So my mate said, sir, what you want to eat? I said, minced pork noodle, bak chor mee, Singapore favorite, but homemade, very nice, got minced pork, got some prawn. And my mate served me my usual serving of minced pork noodle. And I was hungry. I actually had the appetite to eat because it was lunchtime. So when she bring the same serving of minced pork noodle to me, I was hungry, but I remember
Rule number 2, eat slowly, right? So I take the fork, I put 1 serving, I don't rush. I put down the chopstick, sorry. Then I chew, I swallow, I take a breath. Then I do it again. You know what happened? I was so shocked. I can only finish half the serving of the usual food that I'm consuming. I cannot even finish the bowl of the favorite food that I love to eat. No, it's the food I love to eat, and I was hungry because I eat slowly, take a breath every serving. I can only finish half. Then I asked myself, why I don't feel like eating? Not because I don't like the food, it's because my stomach tell me enough already, no need to eat. I was like, huh? I was very, very surprised. Then I said, okay, that's why it will link to rule number 3. You will only eat 80% full because your brain finally, after digesting the food and processing, they know that you already full, no need to eat already. What's wrong with you? So you actually don't feel like eating the food, not because you don't like it. There's a difference between don't like and your brain telling you enough, and you feel enough. Anything more, you feel like you want to throw up already. That's the beautiful part of it. And when my older client tried it for her breakfast in the yogurt that she make every morning, she was also very surprised. She can only finish 3/4. You feel like, wow, hey, where waste food? No, which is a good news because finally your brain tell you that you actually no need so much food all the time. That's why we overeat. That's why you no need to count any calories from now. You just need to do this. You realize that your overall calorie consumption will definitely go down. You will lose the weight and the fat, plus you choose the right combination of food on top of it. It will start to work in place. Okay, one last story, then I will move on to the other important facts already, because I want to hammer this down to you so that you know what to bring home. So one afternoon again, I was finishing my food already. Then my wife cut fresh mango. And mango is my favorite food. So I was just finished lunch. My wife cut for everybody. Then she put it on the table. I was working on my laptop. She said, this is your mango, eat it. I said, I just finished my lunch. I do not have the appetite or the space to eat it. She said, it is your serving, you have to eat it. I said, okay, put it on the table, I'll eat it later. Because I just practiced the rule of eating slowly and everything. So I was full. I don't have the appetite to do any other thing. So I was doing my work. Now, half an hour later, what happened? The mango on the table start to oxidize. You know, fruits, when you put it too long, it start to turn color, oxidize. Then okay, wow, my favorite mango turning back. So I use the fork to poke one of the cube of the mango. They cut into cube. 1 cube, I put into my mouth, put down the fork. The mango start to melt. Oh, very nice. I take a breath. So I take another one. But because my wife cut a lot, so the way I eat this by 1 cube at a time and take a serving, it's going to take forever. By the time it's already half an hour already. From the start I eat to the point, half an hour later, they still left about half of the mango. Then I realized that, wow, cannot, this mango very expensive, it's my favorite fruit. So what did I decide to do? I use the fork. I just chop, throw in the mango because it's so easy to melt. Just chop. I throw everything in less than 1 minute. And you know what happened? I totally regretted it. Within 5 minutes, my stomach was bloated, like so painful, like having menstruation cramp like a woman, so bloated up and painful. I rushed to the toilet to have major purge, a lot of gas, a lot of wind, totally suffering in pain. That tell me that don't take my stomach for granted. Don't try to be a hero. Or this one is fresh food, okay, just throw in, never mind, can one. My body can absorb and digest, never mind. Answer is wrong. So I learned many painful lessons from myself that even though I'm fit, I exercise regularly, so what? Even though I have 6 packs, so what? It's not a matter how fit you are. It's your internal system is not processing, means it's not processing. Don't try to beat the system. You need to respect the body when it's time to respect the body. Okay, so this enough of story to let you know what is going on in my life to my client. Some example. There are many other examples we don't have time to share, but hopefully you start to bring home something today that you can try on your own. Okay, I'm going to share screen again to go through some other point quickly. So I spent a lot of time on point 2 because it all makes sense. So point 2 and point 3 is interconnected, as you know. Point 4, I will highlight it in a while. Point 5, of course, exercise 2 to 3 times a week. I will show you the next few slides. You can take a screenshot on the slide. Point 6 is you need to sleep enough. Like I say, if not, your metabolism, your hormones all being disturbed. It does affect your weight loss eventually. So allow me to run through the next few slides. Okay, for those of you who want to take a screenshot of this, please go ahead. So you can see it's very straightforward. Food portion means 1 palm size for protein, 1 fist size for vegetable, 1 cup size meaning 1 handful for women. Fat is 1 time. For men, it's usually 2 times the size of a women. So it's recommended for every meal you have this equal distribution of combination of food. It does not matter whether you how much is it. It's a matter of how much you can consume, which I said earlier. Eat only when you're hungry. And if you eat, you cannot finish, you are full because you take a breath, so be it. As long as you have a good combination of food, so eventually you will naturally tweak your serving of food accordingly. Now, in terms of nutrition, like how do you slowly introduce good eating habits? Nobody can change overnight. So good eating habits, you can see from here, from point 1 to point 10. Please take a screenshot of your phone if you want to have a guideline on this. I'll just run through some. For example, start with point 1. You maybe replace one of a meal, be it breakfast, your lunch or dinner or whatever. Let's say breakfast, you drink orange juice from carton, which is those processed orange juice, which is not fresh. You should replace it with maybe fresh fruits. Either you juice the fresh fruits, the orange itself, or you eat the orange itself. So you want to replace processed food instead of eating the processed food, okay? So you can add some salad like what Dr. Sham shared. Slowly introduce salad to your lunch. Then maybe try 1 healthy recipe a week. Number 4, you sit at the table to eat. Then you introduce protein, more protein to your meal. Number 6, you add fruits and vegetables and so forth and so on. Now I want to touch on something quickly here, which is also I didn't highlight earlier, which is important, meaning, now I did ask the doctor before, is there any sequence of eating what kind of food to go into your body first? Meaning, oh, should I eat fruits first, then I eat the main food, then eat the vegetable and whatever so they can digest properly whatsoever? Last time I do experiment on all this. Yes, when you eat certain food combination first, your body process better and you don't have constipation or bloated stomach. But actually, when I asked Dr. Crystal, she told me, no, it does not matter. As long as you eat slowly, you take a breath. And true enough, when I experimented on myself and my client, it does not matter what food or fruits or veggie or soup you take first. It is when you take it, are you hungry? And when you take it, do you breathe slowly? And do you eat slowly and take a breath and put down your utensil? You do that, your body can process the food. It's fine. Okay, so that's the thing, my experience. Then you talk about exercise, same thing. You can see point 1 to point 10. You can take a screenshot from here. You can start slow and easy, like maybe park further away your car, then you walk home, or you take MRT. You can take drop 1 station further away from your house. You make an effort to walk home as part of your exercise. Or you take the stairs when you see your stairs. Then number 3, you can do a 10 minutes workout. You don't have to go to the gym, you can do at home. Then you slowly increase your workout duration, your workout intensity. You can walk the dog after your dinner to have a stroll. Then eventually you can even go for hiking and whatsoever. So you slowly build it up, okay? You don't have to do everything at one shot, which that's why most people cannot handle that. Take it 1 strike at a time, okay? And the other thing is, take note, is good to have an overall wellness, meaning self-love, self-love and self-care in this stressful environment. COVID has caused a lot of people to be very stressed. Same thing, you can take a screenshot of this from point 1 to point 10. For example, before sleeping, 5 minutes of unwinding, read something that's relaxing, something that recharge your spirit, your mind, plan for next day, go for fresh air, sunlight, go for a walk. Don't always eat lunch in the office. Go out for a walk, go and get a lunch and walk around, get some sun. Turn off all your electronic products 30 minutes before sleeping. Spend time with your loved one, go and walk the dog, go for massage and meditation. So all these are very good things for overall well-being to reduce stress, because stress can also help you to put on weight as well. Okay. Now, I'm going to play a quick video here, just 90 seconds, then I'll wrap it up quickly in the next slide.
Hi there, this is Lynn. I'm a fitness enthusiast who loves to ski, loves the outdoors, and loves exercising 5 to 6 days a week. About 13 months ago, I was suffering from multiple workout injuries, such as a torn ACL, MCL, and LCL that I had suffered from skiing, as well as post-surgery, right wrist pain, restricted right ankle, and I also had front hip pain and frequent backaches. Just when I was about to give up my passion for gym workouts, my good friend Katie, who recovered from slip disc, highly recommended me to see Nelson at FTI. I was actually very skeptical initially because I've seen a few physiotherapists and always had trainers all my life. But I must say that Nelson is definitely God sent. His unique RFO methodology quickly addressed my chronic issues, and today I can enjoy training at high intensity and live pain-free actively again. His innovative approach to rehab and functional training is second to none. I'm truly blessed to have found him and will highly recommend anyone to train at FTI to unleash their hidden potential and truly live their best life ever. Hi there, this is...
So you can see from the short video, Lynn loves to work out. She has been working out all the time, and she has personal trainer her whole life. She was suffering a lot of pain. And previously, she was going through very, very strict diet, meaning very low carb to go below 50 kilograms. She achieved her target. She was looking good, but she was in a lot of physical pain, going through many surgery in the body, and eventually can't even function normally as a human because she can't move without pain. And worst thing is because of a very strict diet, she having a lot of mood swing, turbulence, and she wasn't really happy with her lack of control over her emotion, and because the strict diet have made her fall into the state that she can't control herself. So now she's happy. We stabilize her pain. She can train very fit. She's eating, enjoying her life, and not putting on extra weight, and maintaining a good and healthy weight and looking fit as what you saw in the video. Also, good exercise program is important. Eating right sustainably in the long term is very important for health. Okay. Now, as promised earlier, I want to share this quickly about my mom, which hopefully some of you here will require this good information as well. Now, like I said, last year, December, before Christmas, my mom has been suffering for breast cancer for at least 4 years. But last December, she suddenly, her rheumatoid arthritis flared up first time in her life. It was so painful that her joints, her arms, her fingers, her wrist, her shoulder, her knee, her toes, ankle, everything in pain. She can't move. She needs help from point A to point B. She was in a lot of pain. Her body was patching morphine patch, double dose plus liquid morphine to numb her pain, and even with painkiller as well. Now, even that for weeks, she's still in pain. And doctor just said there's nothing else they can do, even though the doctor have tried their best. Now, she wasn't able to close her finger. She wasn't able to open the finger. It's just swelling in pain. Now, being a rehab specialist myself, I do therapy for my mom regularly. So I went to her house. I did myofascial release, which is my best skill, release her whole entire body for 2 hours. She felt good, but she only felt good for 4 hours. 4 hours later, all the pain came back again. She can't move. She was stiff. She was in pain. She just said she wanted to die. She don't want to live anymore. That was very, very sad for me because there's nothing we can do for her. Then what did I do? Something very different. I decided that to analyze her, what exactly is wrong with her lifestyle. I go the holistic way. I realized that she don't like to drink water. She was very dehydrated. Now, we all know that water is important to help you to reduce pain, inflammation from the body. So every day she was very deprived of water because she don't like to drink water. She don't like to go to the toilet very frequently. So that's number one cause. Second thing is also I realized that the food that she has been consuming, from the oil that cooked the food, her favorite food that she liked to eat, like curry fish head and all other stuff, fried food and a dessert and all those things, and yogurt and whatsoever, they were all triggering the inflammatory process that can cause arthritis pain. So what I did was I went marketing. I bought her a nice water bottle with marking. I bought fresh fruits. I buy vitamin C tablet. So one day we toggle between vitamin C tablet and fresh fruit like lemon, lime, and strawberry. fill it up in the 2-liter water bottle with a straw, very easy to drink. Toggle 1 day vitamin C, 1 day fresh fruit, and make sure she every day before 12 finish the water, 1 liter. Then by end of the day, like by 6 p.m., she should finish 2 liter. And on top of that, I change her entire food. Take away those high processed food and food that trigger rheumatoid arthritis. I also introduce food that help rheumatoid arthritis, that reduce inflammation in the body. For example, coconut is one of them. Okay, berries is one of them. So we use that to help her. And additionally, I still do something extra, okay? Because I know that during cold, when she sleep, all the joint, because the cold, the body temperature drop plus the aircon, it will swell up even further and more pain. So I kiasu a bit. I put Tiger Palm heat pad plaster on her hand, on the both fists, behind the back of the hand. And guess what happened? In 3 days, all her pain went away. She could walk, she can smile, she can even do this to you, peace sign. Okay, her finger was like this, cannot open, cannot close. Can you imagine? Now she can do this to you. That's a miracle. To me, it's a miracle already. And when we went back to the review, the doctor was shocked. How do you recover? I told the doctor the whole story. So water that reduce all the inflammation and pain in the body, food, what to eat, which we talked about initially. What to eat is also important for people with pain and inflammation, especially if you've been suffering in pain. Even though you don't have rheumatoid arthritis, you don't know why your body has a lot of pain all the time. Then you seriously need to look into what you have been eating that is triggering the inflammation without you even knowing. You'll be surprised a lot of food you think is healthy. Yes. For example, do you know that fish can cause inflammation because of purine in the content of the fish? Pretty much all kinds of fish. That's why fish was my mom's favorite food. We totally remove fish and only eat chicken and occasionally only pork. And she liked to eat animal organs as well. Those are all the inflammation food, yeah, in case you didn't realize. So that is the story of my mom. Hopefully it gives you some insight that if you are one of them suffering from rheumatoid arthritis, which is an autoimmune disease, there is help that can be done. Even my mom is a cancer patient, and we've treated many cases before her as well. Okay, so I have come to the end of my webinar. If you have enjoyed the session, do me a favor to help me to improve. You can write a review on my Functional Training Institute Facebook page or Google page review. The QR code is there. And if you want to see me for the consultation, there is my WhatsApp number. You can do a screenshot now. I'm more than happy to do a Zoom call with you or face-to-face. You can come down to my gym. We can talk about how we can help you to improve your quality of life, to live a pain-free, active life. Before you go, do me a favor. Once you take a screenshot of this, do me a favor. Can you leave a message in the chat box? What is your one thing that you take away today? I've been talking non-stop, sorry for that. So one thing in the chat box, that what is your takeaway for today that you learned from this webinar that you invested your precious Saturday time? Okay, I would like to see you typing in the chat box to encourage me, hopefully that what I say makes sense to you. Okay. Or any question you want to ask. Good. Most of you say eating slowly. Yes. Eating slowly means put down your utensil. Very important. Really put down your utensil, because you don't put down your utensil, you tend to keep putting something in your mouth before you can even take a breath. Very important. Now, one of you asked this very good question, saying that when you eat outside, be it hawker center, restaurant, or whatever, normally they serve you the portion of food. And you find that if you eat the way that I suggest, you might not be able to finish the food and you feel guilty of not finishing the food. Now, you ask me for any advice. My advice is very simple. The first time you try, like my clients or like myself, you finally understand that you don't need so much food for your body, for that particular meal, for that particular food. So do your part, save the environment. Tell the person who's the hawker or the restaurant that is serving you the food, 少一点面，less food content, less noodle, less rice, less meat. Order only what you want. Okay, so that it help to serve the to save the food and don't waste food. In short, you can always tell the person don't give you so much because you don't need that much. Simple. Okay, at home you can control. Outside you just need to tell them what you need. Okay, Ken. So if no question, any more question? Take home for another meal. Yeah, or pack and take home. Yeah, if there's enough to pack and take home lah. Sometimes it's only left about another 2-3 serving. Let's say you eat chicken rice, you can't do that. Okay, but if there's more than enough food like restaurant, of course I also pack restaurant food home. If you really cannot finish, because sometimes you order a lot of dish, you haven't even start the dish, you know you cannot finish. I just pack and bring home. That makes sense, of course. Okay. Good. Thank you. Now next Saturday, I have another talk on untold truth of functional training, the secret review. So that is another very good topic because a lot of people cannot differentiate why functional training is important versus traditional training or whatsoever. So if you're interested, please sign up for the webinar. I'll be happy to share with you my insight and my experience, why I changed from bodybuilding to functional training. So if not, continue to enjoy your Chinese New Year. Eat, enjoy, yes, for social, for whatever reason, but take a breath. Start weighing yourself every morning and be surprised what are the changes. Send me a private message when things happen for you. You feel your stomach going smaller, you weigh lighter. Go ahead. I'm more than happy to hear good news from you. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone, for your time. Have a good year ahead. Okay. See you. Bye-bye. So make sure you have a screenshot of the QR code and the number. I'm going to close the Zoom soon.